We are starting in the settings sections again. You go to the left side. What we're doing right now is we just create a random additional user. So we could test messaging, for example. I already did it. I call it alter ego. I will just use it that way. Click here. You just use create. So you will get that one. Again, you could integrate a picture, for example. Yeah. Just a name and an email address. This email address will be used as login email address for the whole system. So very important that you pick the right email address. It's active, that's for sure. Yeah. And down here you have the rights management. For right now we won't dig deeper into it, because as more and more applications that are installed, you have more and more options where you could choose what this user is able to do. So right now you just give the highest priority, right? So manager, human resources, employee, user. It's kind of self-explaining. Sales, the manager is always the highest rank you can have. So you could, for example, for the future, you could give certain employees rights to see only, but not to create, and so on and so on. But this will be a separate lecture. We just set up that user so you could test the messaging system later on a little bit, and the calendar, for example. So down here you could check everything as marked if you like to. The only thing please don't check is this one and this one, because if you do so, they might because if you check them, they have several rights, because that means that these are external partners which are able to use your system, but they are actually no employees, right? So please do not check this one and that one. The others you could check to give the additional user any rights, because from time to time you might log out from your admin account and log in as the other user to send yourself messages and test around a little bit. So this is the first page. The second page we will ignore for right now. OAuth is just a service provider, so you could log in with your identity and your contact information you gave to OAuth. So it's similar like sign up with Facebook or with Google. We ignore that for right now. If you're interested in that, you can dig deeper into it. For us right now it's not relevant. If you go to preferences, you can set your language. Of course right now there's just English in the system. We haven't set up another language. The time zone, so you know the exact time when postings have been made. And you can define sales team. We will come to that point later on. So you could cluster employees into sales teams to measure, for example, the success of that team. Website sales, direct sales, trade shows, example. Again, here we will come to that one later in a special lecture. This is about the messaging, external messaging via email. Send all messages. We will get to that point later on. And here you can just type in for later. This is the point where you set up the email signature that is put on below the email messages you send through the system. Pretty easy. So just set another user so you could test the messaging, calendar and stuff we will do in the next lectures. And if you go back to users, you can of course edit your own profile as well as you like. Again, click edit. And what I did, I checked all the boxes except those both. You could do that and have a nice picture, for example, if you wanted to. Save and done.